Alright, y'all. This is Karev from Heritage-Hip-Hop, and I'm here with two outstanding gentlemen of the community. Y'all want to introduce yourselves?
Uncle Al, word of wisdom.
Uncle Al's word of wisdom. Y'all know me, I'm Nasif. I'm part of Heritage-Hip-Hop too, but you know me and Uncle Al, we do our episodes, man. You can find that on my page at Nasif Washington on Facebook.
That's right.
Hit us up, man. You know, like, share. Like I said, shout out to my man Karev, man. We doing this thing. You don't see me as much on the page, but you will in the future.
Alright. Now, one thing I like about Uncle Al's words of wisdom is you take real life situations, though it may have a comedy tone to it, it really is something deep because it talks about real life. What do you see going on in real life right now that are issues that we should touch upon in the hip hop generation?
Everything. You know what I mean? From the police brutality down to health. We just had an episode and post that up. We talking about health. Uncle Al, he just been through one of the deaths of one of his really close friends. Like, we dropping right now, man. You know? And that's one of the things that affects us, because like 1 minute that person is dead, and then the next minute they gone. I've been through that myself, and what I want to say about that is cherish them while you can, man, because I'm gonna give you a quick story. I had an aunt that used to like keep me from my mom when I was like a youngin', like real like a baby and whatnot. And when as I got older and I started, growing my family, I had my twins and whatnot. She was like, why don't you bring him by? Why don't you bring him by? And I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna come through. Kept going and going. Next thing you know, I get a call, she's gone. And I can't. That's something that I regret to this day, because I never got a chance.
Wow, I know that feeling.
Yeah, for her to meet my first set of kids, man. So you gotta cherish the people that's here while they're here.
Mm-hmm.
While they're here, man. That's one thing. I mean, even as far as your hip hop, your R&B icons, man, like they dropping off too due to health problems, man. It's like some you got to see in concert, some you never got to see in concert. So that's something. Once they're gone, man. I mean, they live on through their memories and actions and stuff, but like they're not here physically for you to interact with them. So you got to cherish them while they're here, man. Anything you want to touch on?
Yeah, absolutely. You said a lot of things that was correct, and in the hip hop industry today, it's more. It's different from before. It's a big change. It's more critical on life right now. Anything you may say can be held accountable for. Anything you say out your mouth can be held accountable. And not just in that way, the streets, the kids pick it up and they take it in the wrong way. They use it the wrong way. Like you said, even with the health, the drugs, everything is already designed for them to fall for the trick. But the mind is a terrible thing to waste. If you're not strong at that point, there.
It's like I don't know if y'all follow Crank Lucas, man. Shout out to Crank Lucas, but he had a skit where he had back in the day, rappers used to talk about selling drugs, and as compared to the day when rappers talk about using drugs all day. It's like a big difference.
Changed. It flipped.
Filled up, syruped up, and you ain't talking about
That's another big thing.
You're not talking about nothing. You know what I like, man. Like, tell me a story. I'm like Lonzo from Training Day. Tell me your story. Make it something interesting. Whether you be talking about what's going on out here, or you be bragging about how your flow is better than the next man's, or just come with punchlines and metaphors, man. Like Redman all day, shout to Red. You know what I'm saying? They talk about stuff. Now you got this. Music evolves, but what is it evolving into? You know what I mean? Cause I don't want to hear that all day, man. You gotta talk, like say something I can understand, yo. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. You from the older generation. You was here when this stuff, like even before this stuff started.
Hey man, I can say this, man. God is great. But first and foremost, God is great in my life all day. And to say this, to be here to talk about this, man, is a blessed
It's interesting you guys said that because me, I like to study history. And I was studying some of the most famous quotes of not only black history, but the history of civilization, human history. And there's two sayings that hit my heart that I would like to get y'all both response to. The first quote was, the way a society treats its woman is going to determine the longevity of that society.
Wow.
The second quote I read is, you know a society by its music, and its music is its definition of praise. So Uncle Al, let's talk about those two quotes. Let's do one quote at a time so both of you can get a fair share. The survival of a society hinges on how the treatment of its women is conducted. What does that resonate in your eyes as? What does it mean?
Hey, it all boils down to, again, respect. A woman is different from us. A woman is more timid, more vulnerable. You know, her expectations, she looks for more than what we look for. So as far as being passive or being into a woman, it's so hard to really examine a woman because you never really know a woman. Mm-hmm. From my experience, you never know a woman until you know a woman. And I just live with my wife now. I don't know her. Really don't know her. Now you talking about 30 years.
You mean as in certain aspects of her personality that you haven't touched on?
Well, you think you touched on everything after 30 years. But then yet, something new come to the table that you can't even identify it. That's just like habits. You got a bad habit, or you got a habit that she recognized that you do all the time, and you start changing your habit, then she gonna say, wow, you never did that before. You never stayed out overnight. So to say what he was trying to ask, the question he was asking, you know, women is on another planet than us. So it's hard to sit up here and identify how a woman should be always treated, because it's self-explanatory. If they want to be treated a certain way, they got to show a certain way to be treated, because, you know, I know some women, man, that's beautiful, look good, oh man, delicious looking. But the attitude make them look ugly. So I don't really know how to address that question.
Okay, Nas, what you think?
Man, you kind of hit on the nose right there. As far as
commercial
you
break.
can go one route, and as far as treating them with like respect and stuff like that, you could as far as calling them out their name and stuff like that. You know, as far as a society, they'll look at you like, these dudes right here, man, these savages don't even know how to treat people, call them bitches and all this stuff like that. When you go, you know, that's one aspect we change up, but then it's kind of up to mothers to show their daughters a certain way, because you know how some women are here nowadays, man. Some women is ruthless, yo. You know what I mean? And it causes us to react in a different manner to if you was coming at us in a pure state. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can agree, because on the flip side of it, as well as, you know, the men are usually the protectors of the nation. I was talking to a person, and I'm not going to make women the villain, but I will say a lot of the issues that we do have is a female fault and agenda. For the simple fact, I will say, that's my phone, y'all, but for the simple fact that I will say, a mother's job is to teach her son how to pick a woman. That's if anybody who's into the Bible, that's one of the proverbs that Solomon's mom taught him about how to pick a wife. Not a girlfriend, a wife.
That's right.
And just the same way, as a mother, you want to also teach your daughter how to be held in high regards. Now, as men in the room, does everybody in here have daughters?
Yeah.
Yes.
So then it's our job as well to make sure we teach our daughters what respect looks like and how it looks. I know we get down on people about respect. And I think a large thing is because a lot of people don't teach respect because they don't have respect for themselves, which goes into the second quote about the music that comes from a society determines the identity of that society. When our nation was more so into civil rights in the 40s, 50s, 60s, the church was very heavily influencing the community. That was before the introduction of Islam, Buddhism, Taoism, atheism, etc., etc., etc. I'm not going to condemn people's faith because your faith is yours, your religion is your lifestyle.
Absolutely.
But Nas, I'll let you start this one off. The identity of a nation is defined by the music that it makes. What does the music that comes out of our community saying to you about our identity?
Popular music right now?
I mean, mainstream.
Mainstream?
Yes.
You are fucked.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because, like, it's, I don't know, you got a lot of, it's crazy because a lot of jail cultures intertwined with that, gang culture, drug culture. That's all that's being pushed. It's being like, it's like, you listen to the radio and it's like, this your ear, this the radio.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's being pushed down. Then you got people from other countries like, well, that's all they talk about. You feel me? Like, you don't get it. You ain't got too many. For every J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar, man, you got like a million dummies, man. You know what I mean? You got a million dummies
Interesting
out there.
point.
They ain't talking about nothing. I mean, and you ain't gotta be, and like I said, you ain't gotta be about, I mean, I'm about this all day, but you ain't gotta beat them in the head with knowledge all day, but just talk about something relevant. Remember, they said hip hop used to be the CNN of the streets, man.
That's right.
Feel me? So, I mean, I know cats is getting high, but damn, not to that, not to that degree. You know, you gotta enlighten each other, man. You know what I mean?
You know what's funny? I'm sorry to cut you off, but you know what's funny? Razkaz said in the song, he described the hip hop industry. He said, Jews run it and niggas run around and within it.
Wow.
And it's funny because
That's true.
it's funny because a lot of people of color complain about the music that's out, but the thing is, for all the people that are out that's speaking that good knowledge, they're not getting pushed so you can hear it. So Uncle Al, what do you think about that?
See, that's the catch-22. Again, like you said, they let the rappers and the artists feel like they have a little play power. And see what happens with that little play power that they give them, the jewelry, the cars, the fame, and that bankroll. Now, however you use that bankroll or that jewelry, them cars, is on you because they're monitoring you all through this whole thing. But they let you feel like you got this certain power, so you come out there and you create a monster all around you, your whole persona, everybody around you become part of your monstrous. Everybody is a monster in your crew because you got a little power, little cash, little publicity, and you think you're on top because they make you feel this way. So when you get this little feeling that you got low power, you take the ball and you go bonkers, you go crazy. You start spending money on everything, cars, women, drugs. Before you know it, you done lost your mind. Next thing you know, this is what you're rapping about. That becomes part of the story. That's how the hood becomes the hood.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're not gonna let you gonna let you come out with nothing that's gonna empower you too much. Like like I said, you get your crooked smiles from J. Cole and that, but the rest of it is just garbage, man. Like, I'm gonna give you a song. Most of you young cats that's watching, you probably won't even know. Probably never been heard before on the radio. Never Again by Can.
Peace Treaty.
They would never play that song. They would never play that song.
That the one you talking about, Peace Treaty?
Not Peachtree.
Which one?
Never Again. Listen to that.
Never Again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lift every voice and sing. Nah, we gonna lift every fist and swing. You know what I mean? Like, it start off like that. Nah, they like, oh, what?
Shout out to West Coast Cam.
They gonna galvanize the people to stand up against this temp. Oh, hell no, we ain't playing that. Hey, put this dummy on. You know what I mean? Give them that bubblegum music, man. You know, let them chew that up and forget about it a couple months later. Then let the next dummy get on. As long as you keep them dumbed down, be straight.
What album or song changed your thinking to make you perform your personality to where you are now?
I see the song I just told you about just now, man.
Cam, Never Again?
Never Again, yo. Because, like I said, the police brutality and the treatment of our people, man, that's not something that's brand new. You know, cats getting killed in the street by corrupt cops, man. Us killing each other, that's nothing, you know. That's something that's been going on for years. That's something we've been speaking against for years.
You don't hear no rappers script cutting you off. No rappers or no artists rapping like about school, dressing, you know, college, you know, basketball, some type of art that's, you know, is beneficial and mentally. You don't hear them rapping about kids growing up, you know, in the books. You know, check, you know, where's this flip going? Where's the flip? Because I just see a circle. I just keep seeing a circle going around. I don't see no difference. So I mean, the industry to me is dead. To me, that industry is dead because they're doing the same thing over and over. It's a circle. It's a circle.
The last person I heard talking about learning stuff was KRS-One.
That's pretty far back.
You know, that's it. That's a ways back.
Well, I can introduce y'all to some. You have Nick Grant from down south, who talks real good. You got Big Crit. We have Fonte from Little Brother. Immortal Technique. So there's some people out there, but they don't get pushed. We still have Common and Talib Kweli, who did an excellent job at the 24 Hours of Peace concert in Newark. You did an excellent job. So, Uncle Al, what about you? What song really changed or galvanized your thinking to form your personality?
Yeah, that's deep, my brother. I mean, that's real deep because there's so many that, you know, it's so many. And the name went off the top of my head, like they just say that's one, you know, that.
From your time, I'm gonna give you mine.
You know,
what's going on?
Could be saying Cook change gonna come. You never know.
You know, that's the one.
Yeah.
That's it.
That was a very socially relevant song.
One right there. I just was trying to make sure I had the right one there. That was the one. Change gonna come because when that song came out, it was a feeling in that song that it was so real, like because I was looking forward to change. You know, I was really looking forward to change, and it really made it look like this guy, this song, telling the world, and the world feel the same way I felt. This is the way I felt. That was my whole change and everything right there, because I was looking for change. And the song, the words, the lyrics, it was so positive, so strong. It was right in here. Right now today, when I drop my top of my convertible big Jaguar, I've had that blasted. Right now, I'll play that right now.